Hi everyone. So the next topic means we are starting the second unit. The concept first topic is inheritance. Okay. So what is inheritance? So it is a new concept. So from this topic onwards, we are completely enter into the Java. So where it is a very, very much new to you, as well as it is very important in the object oriented programming. So we discuss so many features of object oriented programming, and it is a one and a best feature, that is inheritance is a java sorry in Java is a mechanism in which one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of parent object. Okay, so let's take two examples, two objects. So one is like a child and one is like a parent. Okay, so now child object is acquiring mean having, acquire is nothing but having or accessing all behavior or properties. For example, whatever is applicable to the parent object, all will be all accessible by the child. That is nothing but inheritance. So the idea behind inheritance in Java is that you can create a new classes that are built upon existing classes. If you have already if you have already some classes, so we can create a new classes, and that is not entirely new, that is actually based on the existing ones. Okay, so when you inherit from an existing class, you can reuse methods and fields of parent class. Okay, so once you once you did a inheritance, so that on existing class, so it is possible to use methods and fields of a parent class, and you can also add new methods also. So that means usage of existing as well as a new we can create. Okay, so when it comes to the uses of inheritance, so method overriding, so we'll discuss in the next class. So next one, reusability, the name itself defines a reusing many times. Okay, so here we can use a code, set of program or set of instructions, we can reuse it. So with the help of inheritance concept, we have a code reusability. How it is possible, I will tell you. Okay, so that is nothing, so this is nothing but inheritance is the simply creating a new class from the existing. Okay, that is simply the definition. So here we can use so many terms, like a class, subclass, or child class, superclass, or parent class, and reusability. What is a class? So you already know about is a class. So a class is nothing but a group of objects, and which are having some common properties. It's just like a template or blueprint. Okay, so many definitions are there. So simply a class is nothing but a collection of objects. So then what is a subclass or what is a superclass? Okay, what is child class, what is a parent class? Okay, so if a class inheritance, if a class inherit by the another class. Okay, so class 1, class 2. So go with a real time example. Let's take you and your parent. Okay, so you are acquiring some properties of your parent, like a surname, address. Okay, so assets, so many you are acquiring, mean you are having from your parents. Okay, so then your parent is called as a super class, parent class. Okay, base class. Okay, base class, it is also called as a base class. Whereas you can call as a subclass, child class, or derived class. Okay, different names are there for you. Okay, so a class generally a collection of objects. Now a class is called as a superclass or subclass. If a class is called as a subclass, means so a class inherits the other class. Okay, already some class exists, this is called as a new class created by from the existing class. So then it is called as a subclass, child class, derived class, extended class, or child class. Okay, so many names are there. Okay, so simply you can remember when you comes to know, talk about inheritance, just remind your parent and your relationship. Okay, your parent is called as a superclass, parent class, base class, you called as a subclass, child class, derived class. Okay, so when it comes to the reusability, just now we saw the reusability of code. What it mean? Once you define, you can use many times. Okay, so that is called as a reusability. So inheritance represents a easier relationship, and it also called as a parent-child relationship. Parent-child relationship. What is it? So go with an example. So easier relationship. So if you see the diagram here, so shape. So what kind of a shapes are available? Circle is a shape, line is a shape, triangle is a shape, right? So shape have some colors, coordinations, and the draw of rotate. I mean, color and coordinations are nothing but attributes, and draw, rotate, set color are nothing but actions performed by the shape. Okay, so now if you see the relationship between shape and circle, shape and line, shape and triangle, what it mean, that is called as a easy relationship. Circle is a shape, line is a shape, triangle is a shape. So the direction of relation is showing the upward direction. Okay, so inheritance represents the easier relationship. Circle is a shape. So if you see, if you observe the relationship between, for example, a shape, from shape we have a circle, line and triangle. Okay, so circle can be derived from shape, line can be derived from shape, triangle can be derived from shape. Okay, so that is nothing but shape is called as a parent class, circle, line and triangle are called as a child classes. Okay, subclasses. Okay, now you understand what is easier relationship. Circle is a shape, line is a shape. Okay, inheritance represents easier relationship. Okay, parent child relationship, that is good. When comes to the syntax of Java inheritance, so how we define a normal class, you can define as it is. So class, keyword, and name of the class, and where you can provide methods and fields in the brackets. Okay, so flower brackets. Okay, but here you add some new keywords here, that is extends. So extends is a keyword. If you check the list of keywords in Java, this is also there in a keywords list, that is extends. So extends is a keyword which is used to represent the inheritance. Okay, so after that extends keyword you can specify the superclass name. Okay, so class is a keyword to create a class, subclass name, that is a newly creating class, extends is the keyword which represents the inheritance we are trying to perform, and superclass name means already existing class. Okay, so from the already existing class we are creating a new class that can be represented with the extends. So as it is, we can define the methods and fields. Okay, so the extends keywords indicate that you are making a new class that from the existing class. So in the terminology of Java, a class that is inheritance is called as a superclass. Okay, so from already existing class is called as a superclass, newly creating class is called as a subclass. Okay, so when it comes to the example, look at here. So we are taking an example of employee as well as the programmer. Employee as well as the programmer. So first we create a class employee. So here we have a variable like float salary 40,000. Okay, so class with a one variable. Now we are trying to create another class programmer extends employee. Extends means inheritance we are performing between the programmer and employee. Sorry, programmer and employee. Okay, programmer we are trying to create this class. Okay, so creating this class means so this is also we are creating, that is not the issue here. So we are creating a class, but we are inheriting the properties of this employee class into the programmer class. How it is possible? By using the keyword extends. In between programmer and employee we are using extends keyword. Okay, so here in the programmer we have a bonus. So in employee we have a salary. Okay, so as usual we have a main method, public static void main, string arguments, compulsory method, same syntax. Okay, so if you observe here we are creating an object. Yes, class name, object name, new class name. Okay, if you observe here, to which class we are creating an object, to employee or programmer. Okay, so go with the previous classes. If you remember, so we are creating so if you want to access this salary into here programmer, to which class you have to create a object? Employee you need to create. Okay, if you see the previous classes and examples, I will show you. So overloading concept, so we have to remember here. I mean and not only overloading, any concept from the previous classes, I just want to show one thing. So here we have a two classes. So one is class display overloading. I just took it as for example. So no need of overloading concept here. Okay, so I am trying to say here we are creating an object for the subclass. Okay, so super, to access the superclass variables into the subclass, we are trying to create an object for the subclass, but it is not the case early. Okay, so we have a class display overloading. In that we have a two methods and a class sample. More than one class also we can create. Okay, so from the early classes we learn all these. So if you, in this we have a public static void main compulsory method. So a class sample consisting public static void main means execution start from this class. Okay, but if you want to access the methods of this class display overloading, so what you did here, you are creating an object for the display overloading. Okay, the first class. Okay, the first or second class, that is not a point here. So if you want to access a DISP, these two methods, you have to create an object for display overloading. Okay, observe here, you are trying to create an object for this class, not sample class. Okay, but when comes to the inheritance concept, you are trying to create an object for the this class, not this class. So if you want to access this salary, you have to create an employee object, right? So from the early classes discussion, but that is not the case if you use inheritance extends keyword. Okay, so creating an object for subclass is enough. Remember that. Okay, point it, note down. So why, if you use inheritance, that is extends between superclass and subclass, creating an object for the subclass is enough. Okay, so by that you can directly access the superclass data also. But if you don't use any inheritance, you need to create an object for the this class. So there is no relationship between this display overloading and sample. So this is not superclass, this is not subclass. Okay, those are two classes. So if you want to access the data of one class, you need to create the object, then only you can able to access them in another class. But here in inheritance, if you use extends, okay, you can access the superclass data into the subclass. So creating an object for subclass is enough. Okay, so there you are printing programmer salary, p dot salary by the object of subclass. You are accessing the, what it is, salary, you are accessing the superclass variable. Okay, that is possible with the inheritance. And as usual, you are trying to print the bonus, so which is already there in the program. So with the object p dot bonus. Okay, so this is the difference between without inheritance and with inheritance. If you didn't use any inheritance means, so you have to create an object for the first class into the second class. If you use inheritance between two classes, one becomes superclass and other becomes subclass. So creating an object for subclass is enough. By the object you can access whatever in the superclass, whether it is a methods or variables. Okay, so that is an example. So types of inheritance, so we have different types of inheritance exist in Java. Okay, so on the basis of a class, there are basically three types of inheritance, that is single, multi-level and hierarchical. And in Java program you have multiple and hybrid inheritance also, but these single and multi-level and hierarchical inheritance are directly possible. But when it comes to the multiple and hybrid inheritance, those are not directly possible, but those can be achieved through interfaces concept. Till now we didn't discuss. Okay, so by using interfaces we achieve them. Okay, but basically we have single, multi-level, hierarchical. So what is meant by single, multi-level, hierarchical? So single inheritance means creates only one subclass for the parent class. It can be, so all shown here. Okay, all shown here. So class A, class B. So for one parent, one child, okay, that is called as a single inheritance. For one parent, one child, that is called as a single inheritance. Okay, so when it comes to the multi-level inheritance, okay, so multi-level inheritance, so it means the process of creating another subclass from the already created subclass. If you see the diagram here, so class A is a superclass, class B is a subclass. For this subclass we are creating another class. Okay, so upward direction. So if you see the direction of inheritance is upward direction. So circle is a shape. Okay, shape is a superclass, circle and line and triangle are the subclasses. Okay, so the same is happening here. Okay, so class A is a superclass, class B is a subclass. So if you create only one subclass to a superclass, then it is called as single inheritance. If you create so for one class you created subclass, and if you are trying to create another subclass for the subclass, then it is called as a multi-level, level 1, level 2, like that. Okay, so next, hierarchical. So hierarchical means several subclasses for a parent. For one parent, several subclasses. Class A is a parent superclass, class B, class C are the subclasses, okay, child classes. So this is a hierarchical. For one parent, more than one child is possible, that is a hierarchical. Okay, and multiple. So multiple and hybrid is not directly possible in the Java programming, but those can be achieved with the help of interfaces only. Okay, so multiple means, so it creates one subclass from more than one parent. It is quite opposite to the hierarchical means for one parent we are try to create more than one class, but here the quite opposite. For more than one parent we are trying to create only one child. Okay, so this is impossible in Java, but we can, I mean, not directly possible, but with the help of interfaces we can achieve it. And the next one, hybrid, you can simply define that. So we have a single, multi-level, hierarchical and multiple inheritance. So combination of, you can use any combination of these inheritance to form hybrid inheritance. Okay, you can form any combination of these single, multi-level, hierarchical and multiple, you to form hybrid. If you see the relation between class and class B, that is a single. Class A, class B and class C is nothing but a multi-level. So class A, class B, class C, that is nothing but hierarchical. So class B, class C and class sorry, by mistake it has C like that. Okay, class D if you take like. Okay, so the relation between class B, class C and class D, so it is seems to be multiple. Okay, so you can use any combination of these four types of inheritance to form the hybrid. Okay, so that is here we define with a diagrammatic representation, here with a text. Okay, so when comes to the types of inheritance, we have 5 totally. 3 are directly possible, 2 are possible with the help of interfaces. Those are diagrammatic representation. Okay, so when we discussed about objective oriented programming in the first class of Java introduction, okay, so objective oriented programming is always very much close to the real world environment. Okay, what is exist in the world is very much close to the objective oriented programming. So we can define like that. Objective oriented programming language is very much close to the real time environment. Okay, like that people define. Okay, if you see the inheritance in real life, for example in family life, so multi-level means for grandfather, a father, you, my father, your father, and you be a son, okay, or daughter. Okay, so this is nothing but multi-level inheritance. Okay, uh, and hierarchical, so when comes to the father, so he has children like a son or a daughter, okay, more than one. So this is nothing but hierarchical. Okay, so a combination of multi-level or other multi-level or maybe a hierarchical, a combination of any kind of inheritance will form the hybrid. So grandfather to father, father to son or daughter. So multiple, I mean, so many forms of inheritances will form the hybrid. Okay, so it is just like a very close to the inheritance is always very much close to the uh, very much close to the very much close to the real world environment. Okay, wait one second. Okay, so that's all for the class.